Hello there, and welcome to Ron Returns, a McLaren Story 2023 Pre-Season Testing, Episode 23. So, we finished last season third in the Constructors' Championship, with Danny Rick finishing 6th, Lando finishing 4th. Showing just what happens when you support both your drivers in the championship. We focused on this season's car from basically Spa onwards. And I've come out with a car that is top tier, really. The Red Bull is comparative. It's next to no difference, really. I mean, there is the possibility that our low speed cornering is going to be of a big advantage to us in Bahrain if there's no changes. Obviously they are much better at following cars and have much better cooling than we do, but they need it because they've got that Red Bull powertrain. They are faster in a straight line, but not by much. Half a kilometre an hour, just over. If we take a look at the Ferrari, however, they are mid-grid, absolutely washed. That big development that Ferrari had on their car last year was all clearly pushed into cooling and no aero. They've got straight line speed, but they can't corner, which is great for us anyway. They're a long way behind on low speed cornering. Mid speed corner as well is quite a way off. Like they're going to be a long way behind when it comes to Bahrain, unless there's some development off them. But when you look at their acceleration, they're the third fastest car on the grid, and there's not a lot of difference between us and them. In fact, the difference between us and them is the difference between them and Red Bull when it comes to acceleration. And we are so much further down the grid, so straight line speed, we're not that far behind. As far as the drivers are concerned, we're sticking with Lando and Danny Rick, with Teo as a test driver. We'll maximise Teo's performance through test sessions throughout the year. We've kept our back of room engineers. The one change is we have swapped out Danny Rick's race engineer for the out of contract Xavier Marcos Padros. Big upgrade. We've got him on a 4-year deal. Danny Rick is on a 4-year deal. We are aiming for the title here. As far as developments are concerned, we are going to need to put some investment in, just for refurbishments and stuff, pretty early on. What I'm thinking is we will aim for one development of refurbishment and then maybe go for an upgrade relatively soon after, for both the CFD and the wind tunnel. Factory as well, we may look to upgrade. I'll probably go with a refurbishment pretty early doors, to be honest. It's going to need it. So let's move forward. We do have some developments in the pipeline for pre-Bahrain. Before we do that, we are doing intense development on 3 parts: the chassis, the side pods and suspension. This is all about increasing the cooling, straight line speed, lowering the drag, and then maximising cornering out of the suspension. And we'll worry about the rest later, because at the end of the day, if we are faster than every other car on the grid, it does not matter if we can't follow a car. That'll come later in the season. Our objectives for this year. Apparently it's 3rd or above. I thought it was 6th, but never mind. So, our objective is to be 3rd or above. They would like to see our finances remain better than what they were last year. We won't be going into any debt this season. There's no need. We'll get 3rd in the championship without any bother at all. In fact, our objectives is to be 3rd by the end of 2026. Oh no, Constructors Champion by 2026. And be 3rd or higher from now. One other thing I did want to check was, where are the mercs in comparison to us? They are borderline comparable. Identical speed and acceleration. We have better dirty air cornering. We're better under the DRS, and we've got better cornering, but not by much. I expect some very heavy development from Merc. So, let us move forward a week. See if anything interesting is happening. Our weather centre is in poor condition. That doesn't really matter, because we're upgrading it, and it'll be upgraded before Bahrain. We have some emails to attend to. An up-and-coming driver. We'll pass on that up-and-coming driver. Suspension simulator in poor condition. We have still only 1 million in the bank. Hospitality, poor condition. Yeah, we know. It's also being upgraded. And Teo Porcher has some development points to use. So, put 1 into accuracy. And I think 1 into braking. Lando has an unused point as well. We'll give him it in accuracy as well. We are going to need to do adaptability at some point with Lando. Danny Rick can't be far off now either, which is great. We're going to be pushing braking and cornering with Danny Rick here. He needs braking to be higher. He's got the reactions on Lando. Not that much, but he does have the reactions on him. And his ability to hold off other cars is slightly better, which is good. He can be a fantastic rear gunner for Lando if Lando's pushing for the championship. Performance targets, we may as well... Well, we're not going to set them in for Bahrain yet. There's no point. Let's move to the end of the week, because there is a facility upgrade and a complete design. So, let us go to the chassis. This new chassis will give us quite a bit, actually, but we're going to be developing another chassis on top of this one. And hopefully have it ready before Bahrain. I'm just going to do a normal development on this. And then... how many more points does he need? We have any developments here? No. Right, so car parts development. We'll be pushing another chassis. See, even without any CFD hours here, we are looking at massive gains in drag reduction. although that's on the old part, not the new one. So let me just have a quick look at the old part versus the new. What is the so you're looking at what? 889 and to be fair, it's not a giant development on that part, but the next part will be silly. So look at that following increase, or rather the drag reduction increase. Okay, so we've got some CFD time to use if we want to, but I would rather put that on the suspension, to be honest. And that'll be ready in 28 days, before Bahrain, crucially. So our test centre and suspension. The test centre's a big deal. A very big deal. Now let's have a look at the suspension. Again, quite a chonky increase. We'll just do a normal manufacturer, just the single one. And then we'll go on to car 1 and equip the chassis. It's not ready yet. Okay then. "5 days time." Okay, that's fine. And we'll push the suspension now. So a new part with suspension now will give us a really big push. I'm going to go with intense again. We went with normal development on the chassis. I probably shouldn't have, but that's fine. We're still quite a long way away from testing. As far as our facilities are concerned, we do need to make a change to our suspension simulator. It's whether or not we want to save the time and upgrade, or whether we want to save some money and refurbish. I think saving the money just now is probably better. Although, yeah, we're going to need to spend the money on the CFD. And to be honest, I would rather spend the money on keeping the factory in good nick. So if we just push forwards to here, and we'll chuck our new parts on. the factory being in poor condition could be a problem. As far as car parts are concerned, let's have the new chassis on. And the new suspension. So we are now the top car in cornering and in following, with a decent top speed. If we go to car analysis and compare us to the Red Bulls, we're only just in the medium speed corners, quite a long way ahead in the high speed and a decent amount ahead in the low speed. Acceleration wise, we are not far behind at all now. We've just gained half the gap, pretty much. Top speed wise, we are still a little bit away. Needing to lower the drag, and we could do with it focusing on low speed cornering later. We're almost ready with the side pods. So as far as side pods are concerned, we can still have another set of side pods ready before the race. So what we might do is throw some development time into side pods again. If we look at where we're sat now with side pods, so someone has made some developments here. I would say it's probably Red Bull. So we will just make one side pod here. They'll be ready soon enough, and we'll go back into developments. And do another side pod. This time we will use the final part of ATR. Maximising our cooling and our airflow. And as you can see, this will bring us into where we can really push now. 6, 5 and 4, that's fine. What we'll do is we'll take one of the engineers off the chassis. Maybe do 2 actually. So we were doing normal development on that. Okay, no, there's no point taking 2 off. Oh no, we can, that's fine. Okay, so our suspension will be ready in 25 days. Suspension will be ready in 21 days. Side pods in 25, and chassis ready in 21. This is great news. This is going to be all ready before the new season. As far as car performance is concerned, the chassis alone will bring us back up on engine cooling. The side pods will push us further forward on engine cooling, and the suspension will increase our brake cooling. Not really give us too much of an advantage anywhere else, but we should maintain being first amongst the other cars. Did we order some side pods? Side pod manufacturer, yeah, that's fine. So it doesn't really matter that we're only making the one of each of those, because none of them are ever going to be used in the season. They're literally just test parts for pre-season testing. I don't know why I've just done that. That's when we stop, and then we'll throw the new side pods on. Onto car 1. Car 1 is the fastest car on the grid. And we will just compare that to the Red Bulls, because they are going to be our competition. So medium speed, we're only just ahead still. We are very close on this on acceleration now. Top speed is still a little way off, but that's to come later. Cooling is still a little bit away, but we can certainly work on all this throughout the season. It's got a new ATR period incoming, just after all of these new designs are done, which is very, very useful. Just to double check, when are these designed? So it's chassis and suspension, and then everything's basically complete before the new regulations come in. What we might do is we might continue making more suspension parts immediately. Get another one on before the new race. And we'll focus on other parts from then on. So the helipad could do with an upgrade. Hospitality upgrade is complete. So the helipad doesn't really cost us anything to push, really. May as well upgrade it. It's not an issue. As far as our car development facilities are concerned, we are going to need to do something with the CFD simulator at some point in the very near future. It's going to cost us 5 million, which is 5 million we don't really have until we get a race under our belts, really. So off we go forward again. So we're now in the 2023 season, so we'll go to driver scouting now. There's still no sign of 16-year-old drivers, which is a concern for me. No regens, nothing like that. So I'm not really that bothered. There's none of these drivers that I would consider bringing in, really, that I haven't already scouted. We've got long-term contracts on our drivers, it's not an issue. As far as staff is concerned, although then again, Danny Rick and braking, Teo Porcher. Let's do accuracy. Development points for these guys, so we're going to do another suspension part very soon. I would imagine we'll probably do another side pod part, but we are going to need to develop the front and rear wings, so we'll do a front wing. It's got to be drag reduction. So we've already kind of scouted everyone we really want to scout. Maybe we could scout Pierre Vache for fun, but it's not really going to benefit us without spending a load of money. So, I mean, we could scout him for long term. The other option's going with the aero teams. We've already got Diego Tondi. We've got the best aero team on the grid. As far as race engineers are concerned, we've already scouted all this. So we may as well release the scouting team, really. This save the money. Engineering team, we need them all. Pit crew wise, we're just looking at balance at the moment. I think we push tyre change for now. Now, the suspension design. This is a big change. Red Bull are obviously developing parts. I think we go to do another suspension part. Once again, balls to the wall. And again, intense. In fact, no. Let's rush it. We'll have it in for the next race. So we're looking at pre-season testing now. Let's see those results from pre-season testing. But first we will manufacture these side pods. So there are concerns from our engineer team. Let's just have a look at this side pod here. That will bring us much closer. Chassis suspension, etc. All good. We have a new ATR period starting tomorrow. And our new suspension is ready. So we'll now develop some new parts. Teo Porche's control, I think, might be the way to go here. No, let's go with accuracy. And XMP. We are currently refurbishing the factory, so that's fine. The wind tunnel is in need of a refurbishment. We don't have the money for that right now. Well, we do have the money for that right now, actually. That's a lie. The CFD simulator, we don't have the money to refurbish, and the suspension simulator, we do. Now, the suspension simulator we're going to leave for a little bit. CFD, we could really do with pushing that forward, but the main goal here, I think, will be the wind tunnel. We need to spend that 4 million really. We've got, it's 15 million to upgrade that, 17 million for that, so we'll refurbish the wind tunnel and aim to upgrade on the CFD, I think. So, car parts. Let's just have a look at that analysis for a moment. So we are still one of the fastest, well, they are the fastest car on the grid. There's no getting away from that. So I think a front wing. Takes 34 days under rushed and 50. There you go. 34 days and will cost us 2 million. Low speed, medium speed. High speed. We're looking at some pretty chonky gains there. So let's go airflow sensitivity. Airflow front. Brake cooling. And we don't really gain much on everything else there. But we are still gaining. This is going to take us 44 days, and the Bahrain Grand Prix is 18 away. So we're looking at Imola before this will be ready. We may as well maximise where we're coming from with this. Imola is 53 days away. And this part will not be ready then, that's fine. Let's have a look at what's the requirement for Imola. It's everything. So this is 48 days away. What about the Grand Prix after? Miami wants low and high. And Spanish Grand Prix is low and medium. To be honest, I think we'll go for low, medium. I think that is the way to go here. Yeah. Let's chuck that 3 million at the front wing. Should we go side pods or should we go chassis? I think we go chassis. The chassis is in need of some work. And again, we'll go with extreme. And spend the money. That's not going to be ready for the first race, but it will be ready before Saudi Arabia. No, not Saudi Arabia, sorry. It will be ready before Imola. Australia even. So we're bringing some pretty decent suspension and further upgrades here. Chassis manufacture. So we're looking at a mild increase there. Now I could be wrong, but that is the last chassis upgrade that we are getting before Bahrain. So we do need now to make another one of those. In fact, we'll make two. I do feel like I've just made the wrong chassis. No, MCL3, that's correct. Right, back to drivers again. And staff, because there may be some developments there. No, there's nothing as yet. Yep, we know, that's fine. So we've got new side pods now. Install that onto car 1. And we'll install this on car 2. We won't have any new side pods before Bahrain either. So we're going to push another side pod development. Make 2 more. Some further manufacturing. That is a regen driver. So they are coming. There just doesn't appear to be anything exciting. What was manufactured today? Chassis. So we have 2 days for the new suspension. Pre-season testing. So we're doing rather well. Got a very good car, really. We'll rush 2 of these. In fact, we'll rush 3. No, rush 2. The new suspension will increase our cornering furthermore. Now, development wise, we've got a front wing on the way. The problem that we've got is that we are now very low on money. So it may be worth looking at a rear wing here. We can do nothing but a normal development on a rear wing, so that's of no use to us. We want to really be doing a intense development before we do a normal development. We could always do another suspension or a side pod. Our side pods are alright. Our suspension, I think, might be the best in the grid. So we need to really have a look and see when the next ATR period happens. It's only 40 days away. So I think perhaps we'll do side pods. And intense development again. While using some of our ATR period once more. So we really want to be decreasing our drag reduction. I feel like engine cooling is it's not really a necessity to push anymore. That'll be ready in 34 days, and in 34 days time that will also still be ready for Imola as well. So I think that's maybe the best way to go. We'll not really go extreme on that. Okay. So XMP, a poor boardroom. The chassis is not quite ready yet, but that's not a big deal. let's check that we have the maximum parts on here. So car 1. Car 2 will have this for now. Side pods wise, car 2 will have this. Chassis wise, we have not got the fastest car anymore, but it's not by much. We can only assume that the Red Bull is the one that's better, and that is correct. They've had a big push here. In fact, there's a few teams that have had a big push. Ferrari's still got good top speed. What's happened to Red Bull's top speed then? They've pushed that extra half a mile an hour again. We're not going to be competing with the Red Bulls, I don't think, this weekend. The Mercs are going to be very competitive in a straight line with us, and as I suspected, they've had some very, very aggressive development. So I think for our performance targets, we can expect that both cars are going to be in the top 8, and we're going to have both cars in Q3. I think that's perfectly reasonable. As far as our guarantee slots are concerned, I'm going to guarantee that both cars will again finish top 8. I don't want to really be pushing too hard on that. A qualifying position streak. I think again, top 8 for 3 races, I think that's reasonable. So let's just have a quick look at the drivers and the staff. Make sure that we have a full amount of development going on. 3, yeah. And our facilities. We are down on performance here, and it is something we're going to have to invest in after this race, really. But other than that, that's it. I would say we've had an extremely productive closed season. We're going towards the front of the grid now. When that front wing comes on, we're going to be causing some problems for Red Bull, I would think. If we just quickly switch on to developments and look at what happens with this front wing. With these side pods. With this chassis. I think it's going to be a very positive first half of the season. And then we'll be focusing on next year's car from around the around Silverstone, I would think, probably. The rate this has gone. Thank you for watching. Short video, or shorter video, much shorter. Don't forget to like and subscribe and follow for more of Ron Dennis Returns, a McLaren story with me, Darth Ravon Gaming. Cheers.